Errol Spence has been wanting an immediate rematch against Terence Crawford, and Crawford has agreed to the fight. Eddie Hearn was worried about Spence and how he might fare in a rematch, and he stated, without taking anything away from Terence Crawford's performance, there are starting to be a few miles on the clock for Spence, whether it's lifestyle, retina, or car crash, whether it's tough fights, and that kind of fight last time would do some more to take some extra miles off the tank. I do think he'd be stronger at 154. He's been at 147 a long time, but I still think Terence Crawford is the big favorite in that fight. I don't think it's a fight people are clamoring for, so I think you're going to have to find something to get Spence off the pan for that rematch. Shane Mosley definitely thinks that Spence should take the time to get himself checked out, and after a fight or two, he thinks he should have exercised his rematch.
Me, myself, I was the type that I would take a rematch. I've done that so many times. But for him, I think that he should maybe go get himself checked a little bit. Like, I forgot, I think Stevie Spence, somebody said maybe she get herself checked just to see what's going on with it. Because when you make weight, and this is another thing, when you make weight like he did, dropping all that weight, you get hit with a powerful punch like that, you no longer have water around the brain part where when you get hit, your brain is hitting your skull. It's hitting the skull. That's damage. And I don't know if he understands that type of damage, but it is a long-lasting damage. So he needs to get himself checked, make sure he's all right. And then go back to the drawing board and start training stuff. So maybe he should take some time off. Maybe he get a fight here or there. Let one of the Charlo brothers fight Crawford. And then come back and try it again. You know what I'm saying? Then exercise rematch. But maybe you shouldn't exercise it right away. Take a fight and then exercise it.
Teddy Atlas really didn't think that Errol should be hopping back in the ring with Terence so soon after losing the first fight. Teddy stated, "Look, I know there's good people behind Spence. I know they don't hate the kid, but really, I think it's something that needs to be rethought a little bit. Definitely not for a while, even if you got that route, but not for a while. Sparring, I don't mean just in the fight. Give him the rest that he needs, quite frankly." Paulie Malignaggi knows that Spence's team is on Errol's side with everything, but he questions their motives with jumping on a rematch. Paulie stated, "If you didn't know better, you'd think Errol Spence's team hates him, but we do know better. They do love their fighter just like a father loves their son. It's just that they get caught up in the moment. They get caught up in the emotion of it. It gets a good name for making that fight where everyone was waiting for it, and it finally got made where boxing doesn't make all the fights that it needs to. Now, all of a sudden, you sign a 2-fight deal." Stephen A. Smith definitely thought that Spence should have had more time before the rematch.
Matter of fact, let me make a plea over the international digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me make a plea right now to Terence Crawford. I understand you just beat him. You beat him thoroughly. You're the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF titles, but you hugged him after the fight for a reason. I am making a plea to Terence Crawford. Even if you elect to give Errol Spence Jr. a rematch, please do not do this for at least a year. Please don't do that. Y'all are cool with one another. I'm begging you, my brother. I'm begging you. Because I know you got love, and I'm begging Errol Spence Jr., as good as you are, you were just outclassed. I say that respectfully because I got mad respect for Errol Spence Jr. Please, please do not fight Errol Spence Jr.
Sean Porter really thought that Errol had a good chance in the rematch if it was at a higher weight. Sean stated, "I'm an advocate for the rematch. I believe wholeheartedly in Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence has the ability to make adjustments. He has the ability to come in stronger, especially at 154. And mentally, he is so strong that I think that this is just a wrinkle on his career, and he wants to fix that wrinkle." Stephen Edwards thinks that Errol was just off on the night of the first fight, and he thinks that a rematch would look much better. Stephen stated, "Errol Spence, I hate the way the media has turned on him and saying so many negative things about him. I don't want to talk about whether he was the same or not. Obviously, it looked like something was a little off if we're honest, but maybe that was just Crawford. He showed up for the biggest fight of his life and put on an all-time great performance. If Errol was compromised, he's not making any excuses for himself, so we can't make any excuses for him. We just got to go by what our eyes told us. It's a shame because history is what it is. The result is never going to change. It's just how it is. Errol made a point not to give any excuses for his first loss, and he thought that the best man won.
Are you willing to do this rematch back at welterweight?
It's something I got to talk to my management about, but hopefully it's at 154.
How was this particular weight cut? Was it a very difficult one, or did you feel at ease with the weight cut?
I mean, it's always difficult, but like I said, I don't make any excuses. The better man won tonight.
While a lot of people believe that the weight cut was the issue, Derek James doesn't think that's the case. Derek stated, "Weight wasn't the issue. Spence's weight did not obstruct his performance. He has never had issues making weight. The loss itself should not be seen as an indication of Spence being out of form or struggling with weight, but as an opportunity to build upon strategy and execution. Every loss is a lesson. Errol remains an excellent fighter with immense potential. We just need to retrace our steps and reset the journey." Crawford has addressed all the haters on his social media between the fight with Spence and Jerome Ennis getting Terence's IBF title. Crawford stated, "I see a lot of Spence fans mad at me and jumping on Boots' sack now. I love it. This the same shit I got and heard for 5 years. I was scared of this and that. It's okay, everyone, just accept it. I'm great and y'all mad about it." Of course, Terence wasn't happy about his IBF title being stripped, and he had a few choice words for the organization. Terence stated, "Man, the IBF. That's what I say. You know what I mean? The IBF and their organization. I don't give a about, you know what I mean, the IBF. They stripped me damn near 2.5 months after I won my title, not knowing what was gonna happen next. But it's cool though. I'm not mad at them, I got what I needed, and that was, undisputed. And the rest is history. I don't care about any of that." As for the rematch, Terence has confirmed that the rematch will be his next fight, and it looks like he's sticking to a dangerous weight for Errol. Terence stated, "Well, the latest is, we signed and are contracted to do a rematch, and that's what it is right now. I don't have a date right now, but I know that's the next fight that Terence Crawford will have. I don't know. It's still up in the air, given the fact that Showtime has no longer decided to do boxing. So everything's up in the air right now with that. But nothing's been noted to me that the fight will not happen, so, that's the fight that's next for me. We don't know yet. The contract says 147, so, that's what it's at right now. Who knows? We can decide on 154 or 147. Right now, everything's up in the air right now." If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.